Hi, and welcome to another episode of HR Freelancers TV with me, Tracy Hopkins, from the HR Consultancy Business School. And this is a series of short information videos for new and aspiring freelance HR consultants. So if you're thinking about setting up a business, or you've recently set one up and you're just trying to figure out all of the moving parts and how to get it to work, then this is the right place. This is exactly what we're going to cover. So what I want to talk to you about on the video today is a topic that a lot of new and aspiring HR consultants, HR professionals thinking about working as freelancers struggle with, really find difficult, and that's to do with the whole confidence of striking out there and actually doing this on your own without that sort of protective bubble of the corporate environment that we're used to working in. So not feeling ready, not feeling like we're going to know enough, not feeling like we're going to be able to deal with everything. That lack of confidence can really surprise you, particularly if you've been used to working at a relatively senior level. I don't know why it is, but suddenly when you're out on your own, all of your confidence in your abilities can just suddenly seem to disappear like smoke. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, that feeling of confidence in your own abilities. So it tends to manifest itself in a couple of ways, this lack of confidence. One of the questions people ask me quite a lot when they're talking about getting ready for launching their business and how it's actually going to work on a practical level is, what if people want me to do something? What if a prospective client and the brief that they come to me with is something I've never done before? Okay, well, first of all, that's fine, because you don't have to offer everything. I mean, it's okay to say to somebody, that's not a service that I offer. Okay, you're not a robot. You won't have done everything, and you need to decide for yourself, what are the services that you're offering? What is it that you are, you feel confident and ready to go out there and do? What is it that you feel like, okay, maybe you don't necessarily know exactly what will be involved in it, but you can relatively quickly figure out the pathway and put something together for them? And what is it that just is outside of your realm of experience? Or what is it that you just don't want to do? One of the beautiful things about being a business owner and running our own businesses is that we can decide which projects we're able to do, which projects are right for us, and which projects we're just not available for. Okay, you don't have to do everything. It's not like being employed. So if you get to a situation where you're in a sales discussion, or you're talking to somebody about the HR services that they're looking for, and it's not something that you've done before, the piece of consultancy work is something that you've not done before, or that you don't feel like you've got a lot of experience, and you've got a couple of choices. The first thing that you can do, if it's a relatively small thing, or a relatively small gap in your knowledge, and you do feel like it's something you can go away and find out quite quickly, then fine, just say that's fine. I can put together a brief for that. I'll come back to you with a proposal. Now, to give you an example of a time when I did this, when I was running my HR business, there was a client who was looking for some internal training on statutory sick pay and statutory maternity pay, the practical elements of how that actually works. They wanted me to come in and train their, office manager, or I can't exactly remember who it was. Now, in my experience of having worked as an HR manager, I'd never really gotten involved with the practical elements of that, because we'd had a finance department and they did all of that. So it wasn't something that I'd done, but I knew enough about it to know that I could go away, find out how it worked, and put together a training program and go and deliver it. So that's what I did. So even though I didn't have the knowledge at the point, I didn't have the detailed knowledge at the point that they asked for it, I knew I was going to be able to do it. So that was a project that I was able to quote for, and I just needed to go and do a bit of brushing up on the actual process for myself. That was relatively straightforward. Now, if it's something different, like, I don't know, maybe a very complicated investigation, or a TUPE transfer, or just something that you've literally never done before, that is a big piece of work and maybe quite high risk, then it is absolutely fine to say to the prospective client at that point, this is not a service that I offer. And you can, once you've been doing this for a while and you've got a network of other people that that offer consultancy services, you might have other connections that you can point them in the direction of. So you can say to them, I can refer you to some other consultants that do offer this service, and then you can, one of those can help you with finding a solution to this particular problem. You don't have to be able to provide every single service. Okay, that's basically what I'm saying to you. There are always going to be things that you haven't done. There are always going to be things that you don't feel confident about. There are always going to be things that you don't want to do. So don't feel like you need to have experienced every single aspect of HR services in order to be able to start your business, because a career is not long enough to experience everything. It really isn't. So that's how I would tackle the things that you've never done. The other thing that people tend to worry about is, what if you get asked something, either in a sales meeting or by an actual client that you're working for? What if you get asked a question that you don't know the answer to? Okay, what if they want to know something and you just think, I don't know the answer to that question? Here's the thing. If you don't know the answer to a question, it is fine to say to somebody, I don't know the answer to that question, or I need to go and check because things might have changed since the last time I did this. Things change all the time. So just be honest and say, I've never been asked that before, or I don't know the answer to that question, but I know how to find out, and I will come back to you and let you know. Okay? People will trust you if you are honest about that. The worst thing you can do is sort of, go red and panic and start to bluster and, try and blag your way through it. Don't do any of that. Just say to them, I don't know, but I can find out. And that is fine. And then go and find out. I mean, you've got access to things like, most of us are in the CIPD. There's access to the forums in there. You can go and look some information up. In the freelancers group, all the time, people are asking, for advice and support on various things that they're not 100% sure about, and they just want to double check. So as you get more experience, the longer you're a consultant for, you'll surround yourself with a sort of support network of people that you can go and check things with. It's okay to say, I don't know the answer to that question. You're not Google. Yeah, you're not supposed to, you don't have to instantly know the answer to every single question. So don't worry about that. Your clients are not going to have a problem with that. If you don't know the answer to a question, just be honest about it and say, I don't know, but I will go and find out for you. Okay. The other thing that people wonder about is, have they got enough training? Should they go and do another training program? Should they go and do another qualification? And I think because we're used to the idea of quite a linear training and development career path, the continuing professional development we do, the original HRM training that we do, that's the way we think about getting ready for a new project or a new sort of era in our career development. We think, well, I'll go and I'll train, I'll go and figure out how to do this. But usually when you're setting up your own business, yes, there are gaps in your knowledge, but a qualification is not necessarily going to help you. What's going to help you is just going out there and doing it. Yeah, all the qualifications in the world are no substitute for basically just getting out there and just doing it. Trying to train or trying to get a qualification or trying to get ready in that way is a little bit like, I think, trying to learn to drive by watching videos of other people doing it. Eventually you just have to get out there, get in the driver's seat, turn on the engine and start driving down the road. And that's where the confidence comes from. So if there's a significant gap in your knowledge or your experience and you think it's going to be more useful to me to plug that gap, to go and do that short course, then fine, go and do it if it's relatively easy to do. But don't feel like you need to spend another couple of years, or you need to go and do a qualification, or you need to do a marketing qualification, or you need to do a coaching qualification, or you need to do any sort of qualification. And one of the main questions one of the questions I get asked a lot by people who are thinking about starting up their own business is, what training should I do? What qualification should I do? You just need to go and get on with it, really. Just go and start. Work with what you've got. Trade on the knowledge that you already have, because there's always a reason to put this stuff off till next year. We can put things off forever, and you can train up and upskill as you go. Don't let that be a reason why you don't do it. This whole thing is called imposter syndrome. Okay, this may not be a term that you've come across. You'll definitely come across it once you start your business. Imposter syndrome is this worry that we have that we're not quite good enough, that we don't know enough, that we're not the right person, that we're going to make a mistake, that we're going to get it wrong. That sort of voice in our head that says to us, who are you to be doing this? You don't know what you're doing. Everybody has that. It's a common enough thing to actually have a name. Okay, it's called imposter syndrome. Go and Google it. And what I want you to know is that most people feel that way. Most people feel like, maybe they're going to end up in situations that they don't know the answer, or maybe they're going to make a mistake. But the only difference is that some people let that stop them, and other people realize that they are going to make mistakes and they're going to get things wrong, and sometimes it's not going to work out, and you just have to go and do it anyway. It all comes down to how much you actually want to do it. So overcoming imposter syndrome really happens just through the confidence of going out there and actually doing things that we know how to do, okay, without the protective bubble of the corporate space that we're used to working in. This idea of being the expert can be really daunting and terrifying for people, you know, but being an expert doesn't mean that you know every single thing. It means that you know enough to help the person that needs your help. You know more than they know. You probably know loads more than you appreciate. So yes, it's scary, but it's not going to get less scary and you're not going to feel more confident about it by not doing it. So the only way to overcome imposter syndrome, and the only way to get comfortable around this stuff and to realize that actually the sky won't fall if you say, no, that's not a service I offer, or no, that's not something I know the answer to, is to get out there and actually just do it, and then figure out the gaps as you go along. And if there are things that you need to do, there are like a million online training courses or, you know, ways of plugging that gap that you'll figure out as you go. But the important thing is don't let it stop you, because I promise you there are people out there today, right now, doing the things that you want to do, providing the services that you want to do, working in the way that you want to work in, and they're probably not as qualified as you or as experienced as you or as good as you, but they're doing it because they decided to believe in themselves. They decided to just go for it, and it's scary and most people will never do it. But if it's not scary, if you're not feeling challenged by it, then you're probably not making any progress. You're sort of sitting comfortably and never changing anything and always saying, I'm going to do it next year. You'll never feel 100% ready. That's just not the way that our brains work. We're always worried about the things that we don't know. It's fine. You probably know more than you think you do. You almost certainly, if you've been working in HR for any length of time at all, know as much as you need to know to help the majority of people that are going to look for your services. So now you just need to get out there, take a deep breath. Don't always be looking for the next qualification or the next training course. Just go and get started and do it. That's the way that you overcome imposter syndrome. Okay, that's it from me today. Just to finish up, these are the ways to get in touch with me. I would love you to come and sort of connect with me on LinkedIn if we're not already connected. Come and join the HR freelancers group. It's a great community in Facebook. Lots of people in there helping each other out, and you'll see the whole range of I don't know how to do this, and don't even know how to do that, and am I right in my thinking about this? And you'll see everybody else is feeling the same way as well. So come along and join that group if you're not already a member of it. And the other thing I'd love to know is if you are in that position where you're either just starting and trying to sort of figure your way out through some of the early challenges of running a freelancing HR consultancy business, or if you're in the planning stages, what is it that you want to know? You know, drop me an email and let me know. What's a topic that you would love me to cover as part of this series? And if you let me know, I will, at some point in the future, do a video that covers that topic. Okay? And that is it for me today. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you next time.